Well, it looks like Alligator Alcatraz is gone as quickly as it came, but at what cost? I'm going to share that. Plus, Gavin Newsom responds to Texas by signing the legislation that will lead to gerrymandering. We've got that story and more. It's all happening right now on the second half of The Rush. Trump borders are, tells this reporter, that Alligator Alcatraz was not a waste of money. Have a listen.
Alcatraz was a waste of money now that it's being shut down?
No. I think the judge made a bad decision. I was there. And it's a transitional facility. It's not a long-term facility. It's a transition facility. I thank the governors who are stepping up and saying, let us help you, because they felt the wrath of the last 4 years of open borders.
So there it is. And again, making the false comparison that it's either open borders or concentration camp levels of imprisonment. And there is an ethical way to handle deportation and getting people into immigration judges and all of that. Absolutely. But this ain't it. And this idea that they're going to be building detention facilities in cornfields in Nebraska and swamplands, it's just for show. And speaking of just, well, we'll get into more of that. But again, the major news, they're covering this, a $400 million expense down the drain.
This cost American taxpayers. Victor Kendo from Florida tonight.
Tonight, Florida's controversial immigration detention center, dubbed Alligator Alcatraz, may be empty within days, just 2 months after it opened at an estimated $400 million cost to American taxpayers. ABC News obtaining an email from the head of the state's Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie, saying in part, we are probably going to be down to 0 individuals within a few days.
I call it Alligator Alcatraz.
So there it is. And again, what's happening, rather than go through the hoops and do things the right way and make sure it's safe and all these other things, they throw up these tents like it's Fire Fest, and then the judge says, no, you can't do that, and got to go. $400 million? You could have built a stadium for that and brought, economic prosperity into your community. You could have funded food stamps, or at least partially, and helped people that are struggling, getting people back on the streets. But instead, they would rather do things that have a quick PR slant, look good in the moment, but when you dive into it, it's a waste of fucking money. Here is the National Guard in DC. I think they're raking leaves. Here it is.
Finally got to see the National Guard in action. They're at a park, cleaning up.
And you might say, well, that's good. That's good that they're cleaning up. Well, the Trump administration defunded a lot of park services, things that would go to people that know how to clean up parks. The National Guard, they're leaving their family, probably, you're taking people out of their community. Now you have to house them in DC, and they're just sweeping. They're just sweeping the steps. It's very bizarre, but it just goes to show that rather than getting real solutions for the middle class, for the people that need help, they're just doing these sort of, doesn't this look good? And it's like, no, it doesn't. So here we have Jennifer Welch. She is the podcast co-host of I've Had It. It's kind of the biggest it's one of the biggest growing podcasts of the year. She's just a brash Southerner who tells it like it is. And here's what she had to say.
Meeting with 3.5 hours of superficial praise is so cringeworthy. He's attacking the Fed. He's attacking all of our institutions. He's eliminating FEMA. It is horrifying that he is putting troops against American citizens because he claims that he's the law and order president. But we all know that's a lie because he's a convicted felon. He pardons convicted felons. He surrounds himself with obsequious people that kiss his ass all day, every day. It's nauseating and painful to see how weak he is to Vladimir Putin.
And again, they do these cabinet meetings. All of the corporations come in with these gold presents for the king and all of these things. Where's the healthcare plan? Where are the tangible things that you can do? Instead, he says he's going to lower, drug prices. I've only heard of people's drug prices going up. Grocery prices skyrocketing because of wars with Brazil, now where the meats, it's just one fire after another. And there's reports that a third of the country is already in a recession. So make it make sense. And politically speaking, Folks are revolting. Iowa, there was just a race this week where the Democratic candidate won versus the Republican candidate. I think it was for the state house. I could be wrong. But in that race, it was like a 20-point swing. This is a bloodbath for the Republican Party. And it's because of the big, beautiful bill and all of the things they've done that are stripping away whatever little few rights the middle class had. U.S. Republican Senator Joni Ernst will not run for re-election in Iowa. Again, another big deal that a Republican senator is stepping down. Will another Republican take her place? Will this be in play for the Democrats? They, of course, in the midterms would like a 51-seat majority, as they can't have a 50-50 split. J.D. Vance would be the tiebreaker unless he's president by then. And what's the Trump administration doing, knowing politically that they are so effed right now? Well, they're redrawing the lines. Texas governor signs new voting maps pushed by Trump to gain 5 GOP seats in Congress in 2026. Folks, there is no way around the corruption. It is absolute corruption to do this mid-decade, not during a time of census. And how is this going to affect Texas? They're trying to find 5 new seats. I would love to see Texans pull their little Lone Star boots out of their own ass and stop kissing the ass of a billionaire from Queens, New York. I mean, in what world could you tell a bunch of Texans, you're going to do what this New York billionaire tells you to do? They would say, no, we're Texans. We do what we want. Okay. So they're just stripping away the voting rights of some of these minority groups by heavily gerrymandering it. And the response from California has been, we will meet fire with fire. Here's the moment Gavin Newsom decided he's going to put pen to paper. California moves forward with special elections to counter Texas GOP redistricting. So there it is. The arms race has begun. That's it. Now, on November 4th, California will vote to approve this Proposition 50 on the ballot. The measure gives Californians the chance to respond to Texas or any other state that complies with former President Trump's calls to influence the next election. The Republicans have said what Gavin Newsom's doing is completely wrong, and it's this and that. But it's like he's literally saying this is a temporary order. We don't want to have to gerrymander, but if you do it, we've got a response. And will the Republicans respond to that? And the bigger question is, will voters reject the gerrymandering and vote for somebody that's going to try to help the middle class and help the American population, not just give tax breaks to the ultra wealthy? Who's going to take the bull by the horns and make that happen? It's anybody's game at this point. It truly is. All right, that's it for us. We made it to the end of the week. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend. I don't know my Labor Day schedule yet. I will have at least a podcast up for you. We'll have to see if I'm invited to any local barbecues or not. But as we like to end every Friday episode, we always tell you guys to just symbolically put the middle fingers up and tell your boss to go fuck themselves. It is just the way we unwind after a wild week. So get into your $25,000 electric vehicles, roll that window down, flip up that middle finger, tell them to go fuck himself, and have a fantastic holiday weekend. As always, I'm Dave, and this is The Rush.